Hello?
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to come. I
there you
thought I'd have to walk.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I'm late. It's just... Oh, still got your slippers on.
Oh, forget me head.
Yeah, I know I'm 10 minutes late. It's just traffic's been building up. It's all
I know.
roadworks
Well,
on Wigan Lane.
we haven't time to start talking here.
Okay.
We'll chat it car.
No
That's my
probs.
suitcase.
Right. Okay, ready?
Yes. And don't forget to lock the door.
Will do.
You don't mind, do you, if I ride shotgun? That's what my husband always used to say. God knows why. I think it's something to do with them Saturday morning pictures when he was a child. You know Tom Mix? That wasn't his name, Tom Mix. He was called Jim Lodge, and I'm Ivy Lodge. Sounds a bit like an old folk song, doesn't it? I've never liked it. But you get what you give him, don't you?
Yeah.
Tom Mix was a cowboy. And you? Your name, what's your name?
Frank.
Oh.
Frank.
Hey, you better put that seatbelt on because the police are keen as mustard about that.
Are they?
And rightly so. I mean, I've seen a lot of sights in my life because I used to be a nurse for 40 years. I had a son called Francis. It's a nice name, but he wasn't exactly saint-like. Hey, I forgot my flowers. Can you go and get them? They're in kitchen at back, straight past stairs.
Yeah, okay, no problem. No problem.
And don't take all day about it.
I won't. There you go.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
There's your key.
Florence House. Florence House, that's where we're going.
Right.
It's near the cemetery. It's a rum place to have an old folks home, isn't it? Hey, I bet it's so they can throw them over the wall when they pop the clogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the cough that carries you off.
It's the coffin they carry you off in.
He's my late husband used to say that. His name's Jim Lodge, and I'm Ivy Lodge.
I'm Frank.
It's a nice name. I have a son called Francis. Oh, I'd like you to call in at the cemetery if you don't mind, because it's on our way and I'll pay you extra.
No, that's fine, don't worry. Like you say, it's on the way. Well, there's no rush.
Right. Thanks very much, Frank, for bringing me here. And I'll pay you extra, honest I will.
Oh, it's all right, don't worry.
This is where he is. I buried him with my mother and father because they thought the world of him. They treated just like the son of their own. Oh, but look at it. Oh, look at it. What a mess. I've not been able to get it, you see, because I've had all that work to do at the hospital. Can you go and get me some water?
Yeah, there you go.
Carnations. They were Jim's favourite. He said they smelt like heaven. But he could never understand, he said, how they got the milk out of the flowers into the tin. Carnation milk, do you get it?
Fun of that. Anyway, listen, I'll get the fillet.
Right. So I said to them, Jim, well, I've been retired for 40 years, But if you want me to come in and sort them out for a couple of weeks, it won't be any hardship. I've just been telling him about Florence House. How they want me to go in and look after their OAPs for 2 weeks. But I said to them, I've been retired for 40 years, but if you want me to come in for a couple of weeks and sort it out, it'll be no hardship. Plus, I get my own room. And I get breakfast, lunch, and evening meal. Be like being on my holidays, you know, bed and board.
And condiments for £6.
Oh, Frank, you are funny.
Right. Well, it's not perfect, but
We call it home. Well, thank you, Frank, for being so kind and obliging. I just wish my Francis was the same. He's not a bad lad, but he's never made the best of himself. He's never fulfilled his potential. I'm just glad Jim's not allowed to see it. He was divorced, you see, and he wouldn't have been happy about that at all.
well, I suppose it happens to the best of us. No, being divorced, I mean.
He should never have married her in the first place. She was a very unfriendly woman. You know, she used to look down on me and Jim was a foreman and I was a nurse. But no, her father had his own bakery.
Bet there's plenty of dough in that then, eh?
Jim, you are a card.
Frank Ivy. My name's Frank.
Of course it is. I know that like the back of my hand. Anyway, we best get going because I don't want them to give my room to some other old age pensioner who's lost her marbles.
You carried your weights, Mum. Well, here we are. Florence House. It doesn't look so bad from the outside.
Yeah, well, looks can be deceiving. We'll have to see what it's like when I've sorted them all out. Still, it'll be nice to be back in harness, won't it? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. I'll just get your case.
Yeah, yeah.
Mrs. Lodge, thank you for agreeing to help us out. Oh, my gran knows you well. She used to work at the infirmary at the same time as you. I'll let you settle in your room first and then I'll show you around the place, okay?
Thank you, Sophie. That'll be lovely. This is my driver, Frank. He's been very kind to me all day and he's not taken a penny extra. That reminds me, Frank, what do I owe you? I'm sure I've got £1.
No.
That's all right, Mrs. Lodge. Matron said we're to pay your expenses, considering you're doing us such a big favour.
Oh, well, if you insist. I think I'm going to like it here. I think I've left my scarf in the car, Frank. Do you mind?
Yeah, of course I will, love. No problem. Be a pleasure.
Right.
There you go, get in the water.
Oh. Oh. He's not a bad lad, but he's never made the best of himself, never fulfilled his potential. Oh, there you have. Oh, thank you very much. You know, I'd get my head if it wasn't screwed on.
I know.
Well, I think it's better if you go now, Frank, because I want to settle in. But if ever you're passing by, do call in.
I will have it, love. Yeah, thanks. I don't live so far from here, so I'll give you a shout when I'm coming.
If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake. You know, my late husband always used to say that. Oh, are you going, Frank? You've been very kind all day. Now, don't forget, if you're passing by, call in.
I will, love. I will.
Bye, Frank.
Bye, Mum.